Behind us, death metal. Remember that Charger? We are here at KSR Performance in Gainesville, Florida, and we are going to Toyota 2JZ swap the death metal Charger.
It's gonna be awesome. Bucket list stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is not the Supra you wanted.
No. That's really not even the Charger I wanted, but it's what I could afford. So let's talk about the history of the death metal Charger. This is a 1968 Dodge Charger that a farmer named Joe Barry bought after it was wrecked. And it got wrecked shortly after it was built in 1968. He spent the next 2 or 3 years turning it into what would be a car he could compete in NASCAR with. Problem was, by the time he finished the car, his wife was unhappy about the money he spent on it, and so he never drove it. It just sat in a barn. Then he sold it, and for the next 50 years, this thing was in hiding in various barns throughout Indiana, eventually landing on eBay. Guy bought it, sells it to me. Tony Angelo and I, for an episode of Roadkill, swaps that big block 383 Mopar in it with a Tremec 6-speed manual gearbox, and then we make the mistake of road tripping this thing from Georgia all the way back to Indiana to show it to Joe Barry, the guy who first built it. Let's just say he was not thrilled, and he had no desire to ever ride in this car again. After that, we filmed an episode of Faster with Finnegan where we went dirt oval track racing in this. We added a sway bar, which is currently broken, and we turned like 30 laps without stopping, and this 383 is wore out and it is tired. So we're here at KSR Performance to swap in the wrong motor in the right car, a 2JZ. We're gonna turbocharge it, we're gonna put it in here, and we're gonna see if we can make more power than what this thing makes right now. What does it make? I have no idea, but we're gonna dyno test it right here to find out. So that's Kevin Smith, he owns this place. Pretty much Renaissance man, fabricator, tuner, driver, wins at everything at life, pretty much wakes up in the morning and pees excellence, which means no matter what happens here, that engine's probably gonna make more power than it's ever made.
I'm just gonna make 298 wheel.
You think?
Yeah.
Only one way to find out.
Good luck.
We're gonna stay over here.
Yeah, this pole right
Nice
here.
and safe.
This'll stop a drive shaft, right?
Any idea what gear's in the back of it?
488.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can run it in 4th gear then?
Yeah.
All right. Fire in the hole.
Yeah. Hey, it started. All right.
It's not gonna look nice.
No, can you imagine? Those tires have not been balanced. The wheels probably aren't round.
They're not. Look at it. Look at it.
Ah, that's not bad. Please don't kill me.
Runs awesome.
That was better than I thought.
Sounds great.
That was really better than I thought. 325.
I got it.
Wow.
There you go.
I still want to take it out of the car.
And actually, maybe even still climbing.
It sounded like it was happy.
So
That surprised me.
325, 350 foot-pounds of torque, basically.
That'll do.
I'd rather just start taking it apart, to be honest.
Let it cool down. Let's tear it apart.
All right, sounds like a plan to me.
Bye, Felicia. 2J time.
They store this at the bottom of a lake.
It looks perfect for the car, though, because that is the worst Charger ever. And I bought the worst 2J you could get, non-turbo. So the reason we got the good Motec ECU is so we can have all the torques down low with the variable valve timing.
As bad as it looks, it's still gonna be awesome. Promise.
So we're gonna do cams, head gasket to drop the compression, and turbos. You ready?
Yes.
Take this.
Uh-huh.
Take that. Just get it out of the way. Just scratch it.
Just scratch it?
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Now we can work.
All right.
Oh, it's got a dead plug wire too.
Dang.
We can't. Just throw the whole engine away.
Are you just breaking these as you pull them out?
So here's what's going on. This thing made 325 to the tires. Good, but not great. More importantly, it's dirty. So we gotta get rid of it. We're gonna put a 2J right here where this goes. I don't know if it fits. I don't know how much work it's gonna be. I don't care, there's very smart people here. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Then we're gonna bolt our Tremec trans to the back of that new 2JZ, swing it in there, kind of dangle it and go, yes, this fits, keep going. That's what's gonna happen.
This thing's got entirely too many cylinders. You might notice a giant fan behind me and behind him and behind everybody else here.
I am a fan of yours.
We are in Central Florida, but yeah, it's hot here. I feel like I'm inside a dog's mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. Gross.
This is the worst Charger you've ever seen in your life. Front to back, rust. Joe Barry did whatever he could using junkyard parts to build this car for a set of rules that no longer exist. Rule number one, you had to have a full floating rear end. So he went to a junkyard and got a rear end out of like a 49 to 53 Willys Timken truck. Now this rear end, you can't get parts for. You can't upgrade it. It has 488 gears. The car is so bad it doesn't matter what I do to it, which is why I have no problem swapping that big block Mopar for a 2JZ with a turbo. All right, so full disclosure here, it's Monday. We need this running by Thursday night so we can dyno it and hopefully do burnouts by Friday. Not because we're gonna lose the shop, just because the shoot's over. We've come to KSR Performance here in Gainesville, Florida, obviously to do the swap. Kevin is an amazing fabricator, tuner, driver. Tony knows his way around a 2J, same deal, killer fabricator. We also brought in Jamar from Real Street Performance down in Orlando because they sell the speed parts you need to turn a crusty old 2J like this into something that makes sense to swap into a 68 Charger. Jay's gonna school me on how we can mod this so that it will safely make
more. These engines have the same basic block, whether it be a turbo or an NA.
All right.
Steel crank, either way.
Okay.
The connecting rods and pistons are different in the NA engine.
Okay.
So is the combustion chamber and the head gasket.
Okay.
So we're gonna cheat a little bit by using the twin turbo head gasket, set of aftermarket camshafts from Brian Crowder in it, which is gonna help it breathe quite a bit more without adding stress.
Okay.
We're gonna use a modern turbocharger from Precision. We've got some eBay components for the intake and the exhaust. We've got a proper Remotech ECU that we can run it with that can run that variable cam.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know this engine, it's essentially the small box Chevy of Japan. It came in many, many cars. You know, if you can make an LS work, you can make this work. It's not a very complex engine. Probably the trickiest work is just the valve springs are small, the locks are small. You're kind of fumbling your fat fingers in there to get all that stuff in and out easily.
I think you just called me fat. Fine, fine. All right, so same old story here on Roadkill. Really nice parts going on a really crusty engine in an even crustier car.
Hello.
Easy there, easy.
Well, we're gonna get the cam sprockets off first.
Oh man, I've never taken apart a motor with two camshafts. This is exciting. They're so simple too. I mean, this seems complicated. There's two camshafts, but the whole thing is just so small.
A lobe rubs on a shim that opens a valve.
No lifters.
All that comical madness that happens between a lobe and a valve in a pushrod engine.
All the spinning and bending and
this
deflection.
is all just happening. It's all good.
We are working really hard at stripping the 2J down. We have both the intake and exhaust cam out, and right now Jay is going to change all the valve springs with the cylinder heads still on the engine. And here's an interesting tip for you. When you remove the keepers and the retainers, you have to find a way to keep the valves from falling into the cylinders. So we have got a hose with an adapter that threads right into the spark plug hole, filling the cylinder with air, and then he's going to use this spring removal tool to compress the spring, then remove the keeper and the retainer, and then take the valve spring off, all while keeping the valves in the closed position. For those of you at home that are wondering, why are we going through all the trouble of changing all the valve springs? It's because we're changing the camshaft. And your cam profile ought to match your valve spring pressures so that you have accurate control of all your valves. If you don't control your valves and they're kind of bouncing on the seat and opening when you don't want them to, that's when things go bad. Usually when Tony's behind the wheel. Not saying it's his fault, you know, that'd be a mismatch of parts.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, friend?
How we doing here? You guys done yet? You got 25 left to go or whatever? How many total are there? Quick, quick. How many are there? How many are there?
6 times 4, 24.
There you go.